What's going on, guys, and welcome back to DriveHub. And today I'm driving something that's very, very special. A car that can do 0 to 175 miles an hour in one gear. One gear! I knew what I was in for. This is an extremely fast machine, so I came prepared. Now, I have always been a vet guy. Growing up, I was always around my father's 1984 C6 Corvette that he bought back when he was my age. I would go for rides with my brother when we were little, sitting in the back hatch area while Dad drove and Mom rode shotgun. And just last year, he purchased a mint 2006 C6 Corvette convertible, which I did a review on and loved it. So now I'm in the cream of the crop, the top of the line, the fastest Corvette available at the time. Introducing one of my personal dream cars, the 2008 Chevrolet Corvette Z06. Stop right there. If you are thinking of attacking me in the comments for fake news, ZR1 didn't come out until 2009. So this was the fastest. And a big special thanks to my friend Tuner Army for loaning me his Z06 to do a review on. It was a dream of mine to drive one of these, and I'm truly blessed for this opportunity. He has an awesome YouTube channel, and well, frankly, you're missing out if you don't check it out. He's gonna need the new subs and support to afford new tires after I convert these ones to smoke. As I said before, Corvettes have been a part of my life since the day I was born. My dad bought his 1984 C6 Corvette when he was 18, and he's kept it ever since. My mom and him took it out on their first date, and it has a special place in my heart. Last year he purchased a 2006 C6 Corvette convertible, but only after my brother and I were grown up and through school. He was finally able to reward himself. By the way, Dad, can I borrow some money? I love what Corvettes represent and who they represent and the demographic that they reach. With the new C8 mid-engine Corvette coming out, I thought it would be nice to dig into and take a look at one of the best Vettes ever made with the front-engine platform. First released in 2006, the C6 Corvette Z06 slammed into the scene by destroying competition that far exceeded its measly $65,000 starting price. It featured 105 more horsepower than its lesser trim levels, amongst an array of other features that made a track-ready weapon. The changes start in the front of the body with this small yet functional hood scoop. You also get a modified front air dam and carbon fiber chin spoiler. On the side, there's a vent to cool the mammoth 345/30 ZR19 tires, Michelin Pilot Super Sports. Speaking of massive rubber, well, it all couldn't fit under the standard Corvette slim body, so the front fenders as well as the rear are widened to fit the 275 series front tires. That's some magnum-sized rubber right there, Jesus. The Z06 ends up being a whole 3 inches wider and 1 inch longer than the standard base Corvette. Longer and wider, but actually weighs less over base, a whole 140 pounds, thanks to carbon fiber and aluminum bits. The frame is aluminum, weighing just 136 pounds. The bumpers, floors, and front fenders are carbon fiber. And the engine cradle, well, that's magnesium. The whole car weighs just 3,100 pounds. To compare, a Ferrari F430 weighs 3,380 pounds. To maintain rigidity, especially with an engine that could twist an oak tree like a chamois, the roof is fixed, whereas the other Corvette coupes have their removable Targa tops. You may not have been able to see it, but the whole body is actually vinyl wrapped in camouflage. It was done by InChain Designs out of Pennsylvania, and the wrap is the same as YouTuber Street Speed 717's C7 Z06. And for a car that can make absolute mincemeat out of its $100,000 plus supercar rivals, this trunk can fit just more than one of my sneakers. Compared to other supercars with their tiny little box of a frunk, this Corvette is actually a hatchback, and the area back here is very plentiful for such a high-performance car. You have all the space in the world to store whatever a Corvette driver would need. On the inside, it's pretty standard C6 Corvette, but I don't see that as a bad thing. Sure, it's hard to judge an interior that's now over 10 years old. Of course things are going to be dated. But even now, I don't have a problem with the interior. People love to whine, oh, it's cheap, oh, it's too plasticky. Oh, shut up. The cockpit is comfortable. It has the stuff you need with no pointless buttons. I wish more cars were like this bare bones interior, with only the stuff you need. There's not a million buttons on the steering wheel. There's simple volume up, volume down, and change the channel. It's a primitive sports car. Buyers aren't expecting premium leather interiors. They're paying for the drop-dead sexy looks and that big engine. Now I am 6'5". Just like in the base Corvette, I do fit comfortably, but you would be more comfy if you were smaller than me. But you know what? I can touch the top shelf and you can't, so who's laughing now? I always liked in here the little button that puts you into competition driving mode and turns traction control off. It shows not just any car, but a Corvette with the iconic 4-circle taillights getting all squiggly. That's a nice design cue, I like that. The interior may cause more controversy than Donald Trump, but the interior definitely isn't why you buy a Corvette Z06. This is why you buy a Corvette Z06. The iconic small block V8 has been bored and stroked to a massive 7 liters, 427 cubic inches. God, I love America. This LS7 bumps compression from 10.71 to an eye-popping 11:1. Deleted mufflers help this thing sound even more orgasmic. V8 produces 505 horsepower and enough torque to rip a house down. 470 foot-pounds to be precise. In any gear, you just hit it and you're gone. Gosh, that noise is amazing. Oh, I think I'm gonna need one of those diapers now. This thing hauls ass. Base C6 with its 400 horsepower is a fun type of fast. It puts you back in your seat and makes you say, oh wow, that's fast. Whereas in this one, when you punch it, you can't help but say, holy sh**. It'll do 0 to 60 miles an hour in just 3.6 seconds. Faster than the Audi R8 and faster than the Lamborghini Gallardo. Punch it in first gear and you'll hit 65 even before you have to grab second. It'll hit 100 in 7.9 seconds. In 17.5 seconds, you'll be kissing 150. Know what else does it in that time? The now $300,000 plus Ford GT and the $150,000 plus Ferrari F430 in a Corvette that now costs like 30 grand and can be fixed by Howard down at the local Chevrolet, not Lorenzo at Ferrari. In a straight line, it'll eventually hit 198 miles an hour, and it has the brakes to back up that speed as well, stopping from 70 miles an hour to a dead stop in just 162 feet. It'll pull almost 1 G on a skid pad, and you can tell on that awesome heads-up display, which reads it off for you. Spending 4 times that price on a car won't guarantee you'll get something that can do better than that. The good handling is thanks to a mix of those fat, sticky Michelin Pilot Sport tires, the fact that the engine sits way down in the chassis, and so do you. But also the magnetic ride control suspension. GM wizardry that makes this car feel so balanced and so controllable. Its transmission is actually at the back, called a transaxle, which gives it almost perfect 50-50 weight distribution. Press this little button down here and you can engage competition driving mode, which allows you to slide the car and look really cool without tossing the car into the trees. Mustang style. It's refreshing to drive something that's not a computerized robot on four wheels, with their special quick-shifting automatic transmission and all-wheel drive systems that have more computing power than the International Space Station. This car is a simple lunatic. Traction control on or off. A proper manual transmission. In fact, all Z06s came with a manual transmission. You couldn't get an automatic. Why would you want one? Ha ha! Rear-wheel drive, so you can kick the end out and power slide whenever you want. You can still get scary with that on, so be forewarned. I'm gonna leave it on. That's what's so crazy about this car. On one hand, it's a rowdy cowboy who loves to scream and shout, but on the other, it's a perfectly reasonable form of transportation. It's not too uncomfortable to get in and out of, unless you're a lanky freak like myself. There's a nice Bose sound system. These seats don't feel like they belong in a sprint car, and they're heated. The clutch is very light, surprisingly. I have room in the back, the ride is not too bumpy, and most of the noise on these usually comes from the run-flat tires. But if you get rid of them, all you hear is the sweet, sweet, beautiful exhaust note coming from that monstrous 7-liter LS7. And as long as you only have one friend, then perfect. There's only one seat, so you could daily drive this thing. Absolutely, I would. But what I love most, and I know I said it in my last C6 review, but I'm gonna say it again. The people who buy this car is what makes it so special to me. They're average Joes just like my dad. They worked their asses off, provided for their families. When the time came for some fun, they rewarded themselves. They chose this because it is fun. And it's the most fun you can have for this dollar amount. And I love that it's built so simple, so it can be sold for a price so you don't have to be rich to afford. The simplicity is what makes it so much fun. Even the base C6 is a blast to drive. I love it. But this just takes it up a whole nother notch. There's one thing about this car that I do hate, and it's just been bugging me this whole time, and it's the fact that I can't afford it. Anyone want to buy a kidney? Because Tuner Army won't trade my kidney for the car, because this car is for sale. So if you or someone you know is interested in purchasing a 2008 Corvette Z06, then I'll include a link down in the description so you can check out the listing. Go check out Tuner Army's channel. Thanks again, man, for letting me drive this thing. It really is a dream come true, and I'm truly blessed for the opportunity. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this review, you're definitely not going to want to miss this one. But that's it for me today. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Happy motoring.